That was the best goddamn intro music to anything ever. That was from the video game Solstice on the Nintendo Entertainment System. You might know it better as the NES. The NES. Nintendo Entertainment System. Yeah, there was a game called Solstice. It's like a shit. It's like a shit. Like a really hard, pixelated shit you got to push out. It's all spiky, it hurts your anus. Isometric, that's the word I was searching. It's an isometric, like, puzzle dungeon game. You're a little wizard, pixel sprite, and you run around this dungeon solving puzzles to get parts of the staff, to put the staff together to save the princess from the evil fucking whoever. And it's a really fucking good game. Like, it's fucking enjoyable and shit. I never played it on the NES. I played it on a less than legally downloaded ROM on an emulator. But really fucking enjoyable game. I recommend it. And also, the best fucking goddamn intro music to anything ever. Let's fucking listen to it again, because it's that good. Yeah, whatever. Jesus, shut up already. Isn't that just the fucking coolest piece of music you ever did bloody hear? Yes, Ewan. It ruddy well is. I know. Funny story how I came to learn about that game, actually. Maybe I'll tell it another time. No, I was just looking up like isometric dungeons, because I did all those dungeon drawings. So I was looking up for like some sort of inspiration or whatever. Happened upon the maps for that game, and I thought they were so cool, like nifty little, NES maps. So what's that, like 8-bit, maybe? Just cool little isometric dungeons, very sort of basic in design, but quite neat little things with little skeletons and slimes in them. So I was like, oh, where's this from? And then I looked it up, and then I found it was from that. And that's how I learned about that. Well, it's not that interesting, but, Or funny, I did say funny, didn't I? It's not remotely funny at all. It's just a story about how I found out about a game. What a ta-da-do. Ewan, you've not yet mentioned why you're drawing bloody Galactus. Well, the astute of you may be aware, I did mention I was working on that Spider-Man thing again, trying to actually get the shit done. And the super astute of you, maybe even more aware, that when I had previously done it, I did a few drawings of like Galactus and Silver Surfer because they're in the strip as written by my friend Ian Shaw. So I realised going in to do the comic, proper, that I don't really know what Galactus looks like. I know just about the shape of his head, but as far as like this shit goes, I don't know what the fuck to draw when I come to draw him. So I figured I'd get at least one like practice drawing of him. And my style, my artistic style is, in favour of what you might call a lack of consistency. So as long as I get like the basic aspects of him correct in the first sort of image or two I draw, then the rest of sorry, I'm tired. Then the rest of them I can just bum off and it doesn't matter. As long as pretty much if the colours are there and you can tell it's Galactus, that's what's important, I feel. But some comics are like artistic tour de forces, where the entire thing is painstakingly drawn and detailed and everything, every panel, every page is a great, amazing work of art. Which, arguably, that's what I should be going for with my Spider-Man comic. Since I don't have to worry about, deadlines or page rates or anything, I literally have the freedom to do whatever I like. But also, in terms of visual storytelling, sometimes it's, I would say, easier and more fun to draw and paint, and also more fun to look at, I feel, if it's sometimes a little bit all over the place, a bit more madcap, a bit crazy, a bit more fun and light-hearted, than if it's all fucking painstaking, because painstaking is painstaking, and that's no bloody good, is it? Boo. So I'm just going to get this one picture of Galactus done in my sketchbook. It's like a reference point. In the story, I am going to have to draw him from behind at some point. So I'm going to have to figure out, which is, that's almost always the case. You get a character design done, you're like, hey, wow, yeah, this looks sick, that's tight, amazing, brilliant, wow. And then you realise you've got to draw the character from behind, and you're like, oh, shit, I haven't designed them from behind. That's a whole other fucking thing. So I'll have to Google image Galactus from behind and then see if anything comes up for that. See how that goes, I guess. And the main, the picture I'm using as reference is this. It's pretty much what I'm drawing. It's a quick sketch of his body, a quick colour study, I guess. As that picture showed, it's 2 colours plus black and his skin in his face. I do kind of like the idea as well that he's got this bit of making it look very like Judge Dredd-like, with the dread frown and chin. So I may even go as far as to cut this bit out, the chin strap part or whatever, in my comic, just to make him make it an obvious nod to Dredd in my comic. Just because it'll be fun to do, honestly. That's all that is. Which blue? Is this going to be a good blue? Yeah, that's probably a fine blue to use. And then I'll get these colours in quick and then get the brush pen out, throw some outlines on there, and then we'll be away in Galactus land, wherever that might be. I know nothing about Galactus. I don't know much about many people from Marvel Comics, really. I don't read too many of them. I don't know much about the X-Men or Avengers, Fantastic Four or whatever. I know a bit about Spider-Man because he was my main crush in Comics land for the longest time. But I get very tired of superheroes very quickly. Fun to draw occasionally. Like this Spider-Man strip I'm drawing out of like fun of wanting to draw some fucking Spider-Man. But I don't really care these days about Spider-Man as a thing. And especially, I was thinking whilst sketching this, I kind of hate most, like, I guess Marvel especially, but like superhero designs. They're so just like what's all this? These random like designs on his helmet and just, I mean, if you said to me design, you know, this guy who is a space god and he eats planets for breakfast, lunch and dinner or whatever, I don't know if I could come up with anything, you know, better or even equal to. I don't know what the fuck I'd do as far as designs go. And there may even, like, this may even have roots somewhere. It may have been designed based on, like, fucking, I don't know, ancient civilizations and stuff in terms of how they dress. Kilts and skirts and shit, I don't know. I don't know, and I don't bloody care, if I'm honest. It's all a bunch of nonsense. It's comic books, isn't it? How fucking serious do you need to get with fucking comic books? You don't need to get serious at all. That's the answer to that. Because it's fucking comic books. It doesn't matter. They're just drawings. I believe there's currently a lot of controversy in the comics book swells, in the world of comic books. Lots to do with, I guess everyone, all creators, artists and writers and such, not being treated as they ought to be, not being compensated for their work as they ought to be. Again, I don't really follow it. For all of my, you know, being a comic book guy, I don't involve myself in that world. I don't involve myself in much, I guess. I just like to stay at home, draw some comics, and be done with it all. All the rest is nonsense. Should we play the Solstice music again? Ooh, that was fun, wasn't it? Remember when I did that a few minutes ago? Quarantine might be over soon. Everyone's outside. You know, I'll go to the post office once or twice a week to send off packages that people have bought, comics and books and drawings and things. I'll take a walk through the park on my way there. It runs parallel to the high street, so I can go along the high street, or I can take the ever so slightly longer route going through the park. It's just a bit nicer to walk through the park. You know, the weather's been nice, and obviously I'm not much of an outdoors person, but when the sun's out, it's warm. You know, it's nice to have a bit of a walk in it. And yeah, so I do that, and the parks, depending on the time of day, are full of people. Just whole families out doing shit, hanging out, partying in the park. Not really doing that, but which is cool that they're all like feeling more free and open now. But also worrying because it's like second waves are a thing that can happen. So I am worried that like suddenly, you know, for the moment it's okay, the numbers aren't getting too much worse or whatever, but if they suddenly do and everyone's been pissing about outside in the parks, then, you know, that's bad news. I want to see my friend again, my friend Sam. He's been staying very, very safely locked up. And I want to see him and I want to hug him. Because, you know, I guess I could see him and we could keep our distance. But, like, if I'm going to see him, I want to fucking give him a big friend hug because I miss him. I don't want to be like, hey, hi, hello, from 2 meters distance. Like, fuck that mess. Or do I? No, I don't. Like, yeah, you can hang out with your friends, you just can't go near them. Like, oh, great. I want to fucking hug my friends. Sorry, friend, singular. Although the whole thing, the lockdowns, did put a stop to my plans of having other people on my podcast. And, you know, I could, you know, use Skype or Zoom or whatever, any of those sorts of things. But it's not the same. I want to be around people. Which, you know, is quite funny that I'm the person saying that. But I do. If I'm going to do my podcast with people, I want to do it with the people, not over a computer screen. It's not the same. Like, because you could play Dungeons and Dragons over the internet. I know a lot of people do that, and it's quite a popular way of doing it. But for me, part of the fun of playing Dungeons and Dragons, for instance, comes from sitting in a room with people and hanging out, playing a game, and there's snacks and talking and gossip all. But it's not the same if it's over the internet, is it? It's just not the same. Let's see if I can ink like the masters with a brush pen. Ooh. I can do it one way but not the other, apparently. Again, this isn't... I say that a lot. I say again a lot. I've noticed that recently. I say again a lot. I like start saying a thing and then carry on doing a thing. And then when I get back to saying a thing, I go, and again. Blah, 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 blah. So I need to shut the fuck up with that shit. Basically, that comes from all I'm doing is reiterating points I've already said a bunch of times. Which means I need to fucking shut up and think of new things to say. And of course, now that I've gone off on that tangent, I've forgotten what my original and again was in reference to. So that's bloody hilarious, isn't it? Oh well. God, these stupid designs, eh? I remember seeing that on shoes as well. I worked in a shoe store for a couple of years, or 4 years. A lot of shoes, they've just got shit all over them, random patches and lines, and like someone has to sit and design that, and then someone goes, yes, that looks great, we'll make it and sell it for 70, 80 pounds. And I'm just looking at a lot of these shoes like, what the fuck? Like, who designed this shit? Let me design a shoe. And then all the shoes are just goblin heads that you put your feet inside. Have you seen the film Paranorman? It's a very good film. It's actually a very, very good film. Like, it's a good film, and also it's all stop motion animated, and it's like a zombie stop motion film. It's really fucking good. If you haven't seen it, Paranorman, look it up. It's really fucking good. By the same people who did that other one, Coraline or Coraline or whatever it is. Yeah, really, really fucking good. Norman he's like obsessed with zombies, and then like zombie films and shit, and then, you know, zombies happen and it's a whole thing. But he's got these slippers which are zombie heads, like big puffy zombie heads, and you put your foot in their mouth and that's the slipper. And I saw that and thought, wow. I thought, wow, that's really fucking cool. I like that. So I've literally just stolen my goblin shoe idea from there, shamelessly. Goblin shoes would still be a good fucking idea. I'd sell 1 million units in a week. And then I'd have to actually make them. And then I'd get sued for fraud, for taking people's money without actually having a product to sell. Oh, Ewan. You silly old Billy. I never watched the Fantastic Four movies, really, just because they looked shit. Like, there was the one with, or I guess two, with Jessica Alba as the Invisible Girl. That's all I really remember. When Chris Evans, who is now Captain America, was the Human Torch before he was Captain America. And just everything about those films looked shit. Just looked shoddy and poo, and I didn't like any of it. I was not interested in any of it, so I didn't watch them. I believe in the second one, correct me if I'm wrong, this is purely like little bits I've seen online. I believe Galactus is there because the Silver Surfer's in it, so it's like Silver Surfer and Galactus are like a thing. And Galactus is like a big space cloud, which kind of stinks, but like it does kind of stink, but at the same time it's like, but if you had this big guy in like a purple and blue costume, it might look a bit silly. So it's a difficult, which is, you know, one of the problems with superhero films as a whole, is you watch the films because you want to see the heroes that you've read in the comic books on the screen. But then if they translate them exactly, they're going to look really fucking dumb. And there have been, like, I guess the first Fantastic Four films were like that. I guess especially in terms of the heroes' costumes and stuff. And they just look kind of goofy. Like, who runs around wearing spandex suits and stuff? It's just fucking silly. I think Wolverine actually mentions that in the first X-Men film. So, yeah, it would look silly to have this guy in a big major motion picture. But then a cloud, really? Like, that's all you could, like, oh, a space cloud. And I understand, you know, where the thought process was there. It doesn't make it interesting. But then, fucking, who knew a film with a guy and a green girl and a tree and a raccoon and some guy, some mutant alien guy would work so well. So, yeah, nowadays, Galactus might work better. Thanos? There's no reason Thanos should work as a character. He's a big purple guy. He looks a bit silly, but I guess they did him all right, didn't they? So, yeah, a big fucking guy that eats planets. Galactus, Bobalactus. I have no idea what I'm fucking doing at all. Oh, that's also one of my favourite pieces of music, is the theme from Godzilla, the original. Bam, 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 bam. Etc. Just fucking good music, man. You hear that's like, it just feels apocalyptic. And I quite liked the remake. Was it, I guess, maybe 5 or 6 or so years ago, the remake of Godzilla, and then the Godzilla King of Monsters with Ghidorah and Mothra and everything. I quite liked those films. I wanted to like them. I didn't like them as much as I'd like to like them because, again, all the fucking sappy human shit. Did you hear me say again? Unnecessarily. All the sappy human shit they put in ruins it. But what they did do was put in that music. And in a place where it made sense to put the music. Like suddenly Godzilla shows up, and it's a big deal that Godzilla has suddenly shown up. So they go bam, 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 etc. It's very, very well done. That's one of the things those films did do correctly, was that. And I think, they had to sort of redesign the monsters a little bit, like they do with superheroes. But I quite liked the designs of the monsters in those films. I think they look good. Ghidorah was always a favourite, probably because of MF Doom and his sort of self-made connection to Ghidorah as a monster. He had a whole album that was like supposed to be fucking projected out of the mind of King Ghidorah. So, good on him for that. But yeah, I always liked King Ghidorah. A giant fucking 3-headed space dragon. How can you not love that? And I thought it was done really well in the film. And considering, it's a modern day film of a character that was originally like a puppet, basically. I thought it was done really, really well. I'm not like, I'd recommend that film to... I'd recommend Solstice, the NES game, because that's just fucking fun and cool and shit. And a genuinely like challenging puzzle game. But the Godzilla films, if you're into Godzilla, you'll probably like it. If you're not really into it specifically, then you might be like meh about the whole thing. Also, you might not give a shit. Who knows? Who bloody knows? Stripety stripes. Hoorah! So we should put in some lines for his rib cage and such. Yeah, that's cool. Some more shadows. It's actually looking quite good for what it is, for being such a basic, just quick sketch of Galactus. Actually, it looks kind of good. I quite like it, actually, as far as that shit goes. Metallic-looking lines on the side of his helmet. One of those things that's just like comic book shorthand for reflective surfaces. Just put some fucking lines on it, it'll look alright. Perhaps. And there's like details on and around his face, but I don't know what the fuck to do. Again, this is where I just make shit up and just go, yeah, that'll do. It's going to look completely different when I do it in a comic anyway, so who really gives a shit? Toot. What have they done? Okay, so like that kind of. Again, shiny metal. Again, fuck hell. I'm going to start. No, I was going to say I'm going to start cutting myself every time I say again. I'm not. I'm not going to start cutting myself every time I say again. I'm just going to. I'm noticing it. That's the important thing. Is I notice it, which is the first step to stopping it. Is to realise that it's a thing, so you can go fucking shut. Here you go. There's more of that dread mouth. Ooh, Sylvester Stallone. Oh, that line there makes it look silly. God damn it. I'll have to Tipex that out in a sec. Galactus. They should have a Galactus movie, but play it like he's the hero. And he should have a theme song saying how heroic he is. Or not. I don't know. Do you remember a time when, it might have even been on the podcast at some point, where I said they have to make fucking villain movies. They should make just a Joker movie. That would be a good fucking movie. And then they did it. And the guy won an award. He won the Oscar for Best Actor. So I'm a smart person. I'm intelligent. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. They should give me an award for being such a smart, clever boy. Point is, that's what they should be doing. So yeah, make a Galactus film. They did Venom and, I mean, not the worst film ever, but it could have been far better for, what the source material was. They've got they did Mysterio quite well in the Spider-Man Far From Home. That was quite a good film. Actually, I mean, if we're saying whatever shit like that, Into the Spider-Verse, best fucking superhero movie to have ever been made ever, frankly. And it's animated and it's fucking good. That should be a sign to people to say all of this superhero shit animated, because then you can get away with shit like this. The Kingpin in that was a big fucking block of a guy with a little head in there somewhere. If you tried to do that live action, it would look ridiculous, but in an animated film, it looks fucking great. So Galactus could work in an animated film, and you could do more with it. You can take more creative liberties or whatever, have more fun with it all, make a better fucking film. But they won't, probably. So something like Venom should have been animated, I feel. So you could do a lot more with like the symbiote. And I mean, arguably, Venom was animated because he was all CGI, wasn't he? But I just feel like something like Venom lends itself to animation a lot more than whatever the fuck. I don't know. What the fuck am I even saying? It gives a shit. It gives a shit. Point is, I'm very, very intelligent, and I know things. I know what's good and what's bad. I know what works. Because I rightly said that one time that they should make a Joker movie, and then they did, and it was really good. It was a good film, to be fair. It didn't blow me away. But as far as like comic book movies go, it was good, I suppose. I watched it twice in the cinema within a couple of weeks. So there, because I'm a big fucking nerd. I'll purposely not mention the fact that I was watching it on my own both times. You don't need to focus on that. But needless to say, I'm fucking gay. Ooh. I've got this all uneven. My symmetry is non-existent, I am afraid. Symmetry, schmimmetry. That's what I say. Something I like drawing is shadows beneath things, like this, and like this. And then his knee would be sort of here. I don't know why exactly, but like, yeah, little underneath of sleeves, underneath jaws and things. I like those little shadows. Because I think if you have a drawing with no sort of like hatching or tone to it, if all you do is like the outlines and then these shadows like under here, under here, under here and here, here's a really good place to put them as well. It adds a lot of tone to a draw. Shall I do something in the way of an example? I guess I can use that page. Let's got no fucking idea what I'm doing. Let's draw person, yeah. Let's draw person-y person. What's he doing? He's wearing a t-shirt because that'll have some shadows under it. And he is holding a smaller person. He's holding Beavis doing cornholio. I'll try and remember how to draw. And then his other hand is doing this. Right, so if you draw that, and then this will be not my finest work, I think it's safe to say. I know you watch this turn out amazingly. It's good to have some self-confidence, but you know, calm the fuck down, yeah? Oh, my pen's running out, shit'ems. It's alright, I bought brand new ones of these, because they're good pens to have around. There you go. Talk a lot of shit about movies and things that don't matter, draw some Galactus, and then end with an actual helpful tip for line drawings. So this is a tip for line drawings with minimal like tone and shading or whatever. Yeah, it looks kind of like the guy, doesn't it? Hululu. Shorts. See, he needs TP for his bunghole. Bunghole. If you don't know Beavis and Butthead, you're probably young. Does anyone remember when they didn't remake but made a newer series in like 2000 and something of Beavis and Butthead? Because where Beavis and Butthead used to, they'd like have their adventures in the show, and then there'd be scenes of them just on their couch watching MTV and mocking, you know, the dumb music videos and stuff that they show. But then this was like a modern one, so they were doing that but with viral videos. So they were watching viral videos and then mocking them. I think they only did a few episodes. I guess it wasn't that well received, but I quite enjoyed it for what it was. So there you go. So I accidentally did it here. You put in just the little bits of shadow there for the nose, a little bit here, a bit there under the sleeve, there under the sleeves, under the hand. I probably haven't done enough stuff that would warrant little shadows. You could put some there, I guess. Maybe that wasn't so good. A bit under there, a little bit of the shirt there. It's not a great example, but the point is, as you can see, the little pops of shadow do add something to a a line drawing if you do it well and you don't rush through it. Take your time when doing these things. Don't rush them or they'll come out shit. But it can make all the difference. It can, I swear, I promise. I can't remember the name at all right now. There's a really fucking killer artist who does like fantasy characters and stuff. Mostly they're done in ink, and they're done sort of like that with like the ink lines and stuff, and then just the deep shadows done in black throughout the piece, and they look really fucking good. But that's like, you know, that's something I know how to do, but I've not really taken much time to do it. Whereas cross-hatching with biros is the thing I have spent time doing, so that's what I've gotten good at. So if you do this and practice this more, you'll get good at that instead. Look, there's Galactus. Let's have some more Solstice to play us out, yeah?